This live goes blank. I'm also on another one for my other phone because I got about 6%. But TD Sports Talk says because he knows he can outbox Ben and get a huge payday out of it. It's kind of a cherry pick, but won't look like it because Shakur is moving up in weight. TD Sports Talk, the Bronx, talking that talk this morning. Is TD Sports Talk wrong? Is TD Sports Talk wrong? Is this not a slick cherry pick? The truth is the truth, no matter if you like it or not. Is our brother TD Sports Talk wrong? I don't think so. I believe it's right and exact. Oh man, Mecca of the South, salute family, welcome in. Did you catch the fight last night? Did you see our girl Clarissa Shields putting in that work? Did you see the Black National Anthem? The Black National Anthem at an event of that magnitude. Listen, y'all. Listen, I would have been so black at that event. I would have been extra black. I could feel the energy through the TV. I'm like, man, look at our people, man. Look at this event. Sold out. Family. Cedric Trailer said, no lies detected. So it sounds like TD Sports Talk is right in exact what he's saying. Shakur versus Conor Ben, does it move it forward for us? Now, let me tell y'all what would happen if Shakur fights Conor Ben and Conor Ben puts up just a decent fight. It will help UK boxing, but it will do nothing for us. That's what I really feel about it. I feel like the UK boxing will rise up more, but I don't think it'll do anything for us. So who should Shakur fighting right now, y'all? Clarissa is the greatest woman of all time without a shadow of a doubt. And she doesn't mind being critiqued. Family, if you go watch the post conference, she's sitting there critiquing herself already, saying, you know what? I need to do better at where I place my shots because I should have got her out of there. Because when Clarissa gets excited, I'm telling you, I've been watching Clarissa since 2012. When Clarissa gets excited, she has the ability to do a proper shoe shine, but she doesn't place her shots. What do I mean, y'all? If you stand in front of me, right? And I go like this. That's a shoe shine. That's a shoe shine. The problem is, you can do all of that, right? You can do the shoe shine, but if I'm hitting you on your elbows and your shoulders doing the shoe shine, it's not going to do anything. But go watch old tape of Sugar Ray Leonard doing his shoe shine and see the difference. When you would see Sugar Ray do the shoe shine, you would see him hit pivotal spots on the body and it would hurt a person. That's why we have to praise our style of fighting, because they want us to lose the science that we know. They don't want our fighters to bring that type of science into the ring, that type of athleticism into the ring. Shelton, LDBC or nothing reloaded. This clown named Choke No Joke went live after the Clarissa Shields fight and said that she lost the fight and had people believing that nonsense. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Peace to the queen, Sugar Free Mars, the queen of boxing media. She said, my comrade, infinite love to the king and the coach Hudson. Peace to you, queen. So family, let me ask this question real quick. And if this dies, family, all you got to do is click on my other live, because I'm going to keep going. So it's going to roll over. All of the brothers who ran to social media to call Usyk the greatest of our generation, arguably the greatest of all time. Why are you all so silent this morning? Why are you all so silent this morning? Why are you not speaking up? Why are you not rushing to your platforms to call Clarissa Shields the greatest of all time? You all got on Twitter, you got on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, to let the world know that this man Usyk, did you see how great he was? But then we have a sister. Now I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen to you brothers, but hold on. We have a sister that puts on an event, which 3 out of the 4 main events, spectacular. Sales out the stadium. 71% of the tickets were purchased by women. Listen to me, brothers. All of these brothers who have tried to make channels to always be traitors to our own tribe to make $1. In the next few years, they are going to try to come back among us because it's no longer going to work. Salute to our brother Drew Titan, only because I'm on the road. Salute to our brother Drew Titan LLC. So check this out, family. Y'all don't think it's strange that Clarissa Shields, she has trained 2,000 kids in the sport of boxing for free? Let me say that again. This ain't about buying no block up. This ain't about doing something that you can get a tax write-off for charity. She herself, through her gym in Flint and through her gym in Atlanta, things that I've seen with my own eyes, has trained 2,000 kids. The actress that played Clarissa Shields comes out and does the Black National Anthem. Does the Black National Anthem. How many of our brothers have had the Black National Anthem sung before they fought? Or are they too busy wearing another nation's flag and another nation's shorts to get the approval of people that will never like you? To get the approval of people who will always hate you until it's time for you to go against someone that they hate more, which is what they're trying to do with Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. But that's another topic. You brothers have been, these brothers, because I know they're not here unless they're just watching, but I know they're not going to say anything here. You brothers have been completely silent. You were dropping video after video praising Usyk, but you have nothing to say about history that was just made last night. You have nothing to say about history that was just made last night. All right. So I'm starting to realize for there to be greatness among us, we are always going to have these detractors, these Sambo spineless dudes. It's dudes right now that are still doing panels on Victor Conte. And because people don't want to do their own research and just follow the deceptive intelligence that they're receiving, they're going along with it. But they have selective outrage. If it is true indeed that you care so much about the sport being clean, if it is true indeed that you care so much about PED users, how come these same Sambo channels have not done not one video on Eddie Reynoso and what's going on there? If you want to look into a conspiracy of cheaters, that's where you need to go. Let me say it again. If you want to look into a conspiracy of cheaters, that's where you need to go. They're talking about Balco, and Vada had nothing to do with Balco. It's like 5 completely different organizations. And unless you follow track, let me say this, because I gotta just go ahead and acknowledge this for a second. Because I'm so sick of these dudes. Unless you follow track and field, you didn't know nothing about no damn Victor Conte until Ryan Garcia brought his name up. Let me say it again. Unless you follow track and field, which is where the Balco incident happened. Some of these dudes are so dumb, they think Balco had something to do with boxing. These idiots are so dumb, they're telling people, they're tying in Balco and Bada and Snack and Wada all in together. And let me show you how they use deceptive intelligence. These dudes know that Victor Conte, when he got caught in the Balco situation, Victor Conte is a chemist. So the organizations that wanted to be clean, let me say it, let me slow it down for y'all. The organizations that wanted to be clean. See, I am a USA boxing coach. Okay? I know why USA boxing was pulled out of the last Olympics. I know the beef between the International Fight League and all our other organizations. We know about the cheating. We know about the chemist who created the substance called Clear, which is something you would put on top of the PEDs to mask the hormone differences and changes and levels and the chemical reaction in your body. So they went and got this man, Victor Conte, as a consult. They know this. But what they do is, what I just told you is true. They know that this is true. But they'll use this deceptive intelligence by giving you a bunch of true crap and then mixing lies into it as well. Lies and hypocrisy. Because how come none of you same Sambo channels, you same COINTELPRO boxing fan channels that don't really give a damn about the sport, because you have said nothing about the PED users out of the Eddie Reynoso camp. You don't give a damn about the true sport of boxing. Cream and Clear. That's right, our brother Drew Titan. Cream and Clear. These were chemists. Now, family, guess what? Guess what I used to do in the Army? Guess what my job was? One of my many jobs. When I became a sergeant, they made me what's called a UPL. Coach Hudson, what is a UPL and what the F this got to do with boxing? I'm going to tell you why this has to do something with boxing. If I come to you randomly and I say pee in this cup, after you pee in this cup, the taping that I put on your cup, if it has a pin needle size hole in it or scratch, when it gets to the lab, it is non-void. It cannot even be tested. The person that gets it, it does not say this is Coach Hudson's pee on it. It has my social and a number on it. So if you all mean to tell me, out of hundreds and thousands of different samples that get tested, that I'm able, the conspiracy is, I'm able to know your social, your numbers, and pick your sample out of all the other samples being tested. Then do it again with your second substance. And only catch certain fighters. Come on, family. Come on, family. Look how quick, think about it, family. Look how quick they tried to say Clarissa was cheating when there was THC in her blood, which was not true. So you mean to tell me that there is this conspiracy for Mexican fighters to get caught cheating, but all of these black fighters aren't popping up hot the same? Family, come on into the live. Everyone from my other channel, from my other live, they're going to roll into this one shortly. But family, we have to start using our common sense. We have to stop letting these COINTELPRO boxing fans just tell us anything. Let me move around so I can see when everybody comes in. We have to use our common sense, family, because the world is looking at us like we are the dumbest. They're looking at us like we are the dumbest boxing fans, I'm going to slow down because I want to give everybody time that was in my other live to come into this one. So, Sugar Free Mars, let me know when you get in here. Our brother Drew Titan, let me know when you get in here. Joseph Townsend, let me know when you get in here. Now check this out, family. Peace to everybody in the chat. If I didn't speak to you, it's because I was looking at another monitor. Now I'm on this one. All right, our brother Drew Titan's in here. Now, family, think about this for a second. Anytime one of our fighters does something wrong, anything wrong, it is front page news. Front page news. Tank gets in trouble, front page news. Keyshawn gets in trouble, front page news. Salute. All right, family. My family's back in here. Now check it out. These COINTELPRO boxing fan channels. Now let me show you their hypocrisy. Because let's play, and I hate playing this game, because I want to be upstanding and righteous. But let's play devil's advocate with what they're saying. So this is what they're telling you, family, because right now, as a boxing community, regardless if you're black, Mexican, white, Asian, the boxing world right now, to the rest of every sport, we look like idiots. We look like idiots on what is being said. Like we cannot use our common sense. But let's go ahead and play the game. Family, make sure you drink your water. And all that came to my fitness video where we were working out at the tennis court over here a few days ago, I appreciate you. But check this out, family. They want you to believe that because of the situation and because Victor Conte was a consultant for Bottom and later became an advisor in the supplements of Snack, that all of this is tied together, and all of a sudden, it wasn't when Mikey Garcia was with Snack. It wasn't when all of these Mexican fighters were ambassadors for Snack. It was when Ryan Garcia got caught cheating, the person who actually got caught using PEDs. Patrice said that YouTube is not sending out notifications. All right, family, that's all right, because we all we got. Like our brother Drew Titan says, we are our own algorithm. But check this out, family. They say that because all of this is tied together, let's play their game for a second. They're saying that because of past instances, stay with me, family, watch this. Watch how I put their own foot in their own mouth. This is what they're telling us. Okay, listen up, family, because they think we're all stupid. And we look dumb as a boxing community repeating this propaganda. This is what they're saying. Because of past incidents, because history does repeat itself, that Victor Conte, who has been caught up in the Balco situation, he must have something to do with what? With Snack. Now, I'm going to pretend for a second that these are not hypocrites that said nothing when all of these Mexican fighters were ambassadors. I'm gonna play devil's advocate like I'm on their team. And I'm gonna say to you all that because of all of this deceptive intelligence that I'm telling you, and all of these things did happen, that is the proof that there must be something going on. Because now, Victor Conte can't be in the sport. Even though Victor Conte is sick as we speak and has nothing to do with the sport right now, this is what's being said. Victor Conte, Victor Conte, Victor Conte. We have to get them out of the sport. Watch this, family. If that is the case, how come when the family was trying to talk about the Glovegate situation with Fury and Wilder and was bringing up past incidents, you same COINTELPRO boxing fan channel said that did not matter? Let's talk about it. If past incidents does not matter, how come when I pointed out that There are members of the Margarito Corner that are still, there are members in the Margarito Corner who were a part of the Loaded Glove scandal that are still in the sport of boxing as second cornermen. You all said that didn't matter because it was in the past. Let's keep going. How come when we brought up all of these situations that have happened in the sport of boxing, you all get amnesia and says that that no longer matters? But when it comes to Victor Conte, this is where we draw the line. Oh, when it comes to Victor Conte, there must be something going on because Devin Haney and Terrence Crawford is a threat, and these are black men doing this. Family, I don't care what's going on, and I really don't care how you feel about this. No matter what's going on in the Mexican boxing fan base, they are never going to go against themselves on this level. No matter what's going on, when the boys dropped Usyk with a legal body shot, how many Eastern European channels have anyone seen in the chat? Has anyone seen saying, well, you know Usyk, he got dropped with that illegal body shot. I don't know about Shaw, but I saw Usyk get. No, they are on code. They keep their mouth shut. They get behind their champion and say, hey, whoo, good thing we got away with that one. But champ, when you come back, we need you to be on your square. Because no matter what, we're not going to go against each other in front of the whole world. When Canelo got caught, how many Mexican boxing channels did you see them talking about, well, he must have been cheating this whole time? Matter of fact, we need to go back and look at all of these situations where he takes a clear flush shot after moving up in weight from a Triple G and shakes it off like it's nothing. His knees don't even buckle. All right. So see, what we're dealing with is a disease. What we're dealing with is a parasite among us. There are, hold on, family. TD Sports Talk. There are Mexicans with snack to like Bam, and they don't say shit about Bam. Not only that, Shakur Stevenson is praising Bam right now. Do you all not see the tricks? Do you all not see how they're playing in your face? Do you all not see how every sport with anyone with a little bit of sense is saying, man, them boxer fans are idiots. They are true dumbasses. That's what they're saying about us because we keep repeating the propaganda. Now, some of you might say, because someone asked me, they said, Coach, why are you so angry about this? Because propaganda repeats itself. Propaganda repeats itself. I'm going to read some of the chats because I see the family is talking. Shelton, LDBC or Nothing Reloaded said, they said clenbuterol doesn't help performance. Isn't it funny how every time a PED user is caught, everyone becomes PED experts? Family, watch this. When I was in the military, one of my jobs was called CBRN. CBRN stands for chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. I dibbled and dabbled in what's called chemical warfare. So when I first started hearing people in the boxing community saying that these PEDs and some of these substances that can only be in your body from injection or eating a whole cow that is contaminated doesn't affect your performance, I said, man, there's something wrong here. There is something wrong here. And I just sit back and listen. Because see, what people see, they see my young face, they see the hair, they see my tattoos, they see me wearing my chains. They never assume that you know what you know. They always underestimate the spook sitting by the door. They always think that, oh, he not gonna know this deceptive intelligence that I'm practicing on all of you. They're not gonna know. So if nobody else is doing this, if the Eastern European don't do it, and I'm calling out the biggest fan bases. When I say Eastern European, I'm not just talking about Russia, Ukraine. I'm talking about the UK. I'm talking about all of them together. The Mexican fan base, huge fan base. And then it's us, the Black American fan base. Family, the Black American fan base is who just sold out. Is who just sold out Detroit. Clarissa Shields' card was sold out by our people. That is one of the biggest nightmares of race fans, casuals, and the racist elites in the sport of boxing. They do not want us to sell out in cities like Detroit, in the DMV, in Atlanta, because the crap that they've been getting away with, they wouldn't be able to do it there. They would not be able to do it there because the brothers would be in the building. Patrice said, saddest thing is I hear other black people falling for the black fighters don't sell racist narrative. That is why propaganda is so dangerous. Propaganda always outlasts the person that actually implemented it. Some people might say, Coach, prove what you were saying. Prove what you were saying. All right, family. If you have ever heard this, I want you to type heard in the chat. If you have ever heard this, Egyptians were not black. The Egyptian civilizations had nothing to do with black Africans. The great Ethiopian civilizations were not really black Africans. They were more Middle Eastern and European that mixed during immigration, during the movement of people. Somebody press heard if you've ever heard that, or that Egyptians and Ethiopians were basically brown white people. And these great dynasties couldn't have had any type of tie to the other African civilizations. So a few people have heard this. I have never, and what I'm saying right now, I have never had this discussion with any of the people that just had heard. Now, watch this, family. Because somebody's going to say, Coach, prove what you're saying. Now, for those that watch the live, I've got about 6 people that just said heard. Now, watch this. Where did that propaganda come from? Family, where does that propaganda come from? Who started that propaganda? Family, there was a white anthropologist in the 1800s. To keep him from going crazy because of the things that he was finding when they were digging up Egypt and finding these great monuments and tablets in Ethiopia and Egypt, he said that, well, what must have happened is when the Europeans started mixing with the people in Egypt after they started to conquer, after black Africans allowed them into their house, giving out the what you all like to call the cookout invitation, and they started to sleep with our women, that their intelligence must be the ones responsible. So what you're really dealing with is brown white people. This is what he said verbatim. I can't remember his name, but he was an anthropologist in the 1800s. And that is where that narrative started, to the point where they actually have it in some of their museums till this day. Even though when you go to what they called Kush, which would have been right up under Egypt, to this day, the tribe of those people are black as this shirt. But they want you to think that these aren't the same people. That is the dangers of propaganda. And I'm not gonna go deep into that right now, because for those of you that just got here, I'm praising Clarissa Shields, but I want you to show the dangers of this propaganda and understand how we should be charging those among us who are pushing the narratives that they're pushing. The Joe Budden podcast, we're talking about RG3 and how who is married to a white woman, he keeps dragging Angel Reese. And Joe Budden said something that we all need to take heed to. Joe Budden said, I just realized that we're having different conversations. I just realized that some of us are talking about sports, but some of these other people, this ain't about sports. There is some hatred and racial undertones and hypocrisy in what we're seeing. I want to show you how disgusting some of these brothers are who are from us in our community, and why we must hold them. Why we must hold them responsible for what they're saying. If Clarissa Shields looked like Ronda Rousey, all of them would be behind her right now. If Clarissa Shields looked like Ronda Rousey, all of them would be on a panel this morning saying, man, did you see that girl did you see that girl Clarissa? Did you see her beating on that ass with that beautiful white skin and blonde hair? But because Clarissa Shields is unapologetically black, because Clarissa Shields keeps a group of sisters around her that don't play about her, I seen that for myself, in person and in real time. These haters and Sambo-minded brothers around us, see, people don't understand what they are complicit in. And let me explain to you why I am the way I am. When I was young, living in Chicago, I got to keep it plain. I have to tell you where I come from and why I think the way I think. Two things that I was told as a kid. First thing I was told by my own family was, you don't ever go against the family outside of this house. You don't ever go against the family outside of this house. And when I got a little older, the minister told me, he said, never take the white man's side against your brother. That's what he said. I'm gonna make it so plain for you today in case you are confused about the mindset that I have. He says, even in your apparent wrong, you defend your people in front of them. And when you get behind closed doors, you hold each other accountable and deal with each other then. But you never go against your people for your enemy. You defend your people no matter what it is. So some Sambo, spineless, shuck and jive coon is gonna get on here and say, Coach, are you saying we shouldn't be accountable for what we do? That's definitely not what I'm saying. We need to hold each other accountable. But what I am saying is, when there is a media lynching, and a lot of these brothers are so disgusting because they're in their 40s and up, which is why the YNs have no respect for many of you, because they see you in your cowardice and your spinelessness. We hold each other accountable. But when there is an attack, a clear biased, racial, undertone attack on one of our people, I'm defending them. I don't care what you say. You don't think that brother should have took that officer's life because the life of his son was taken? Well, what is your solution? Because don't nobody care about us marching. I have so much experience with this enemy and these devils that what I do know is don't nobody care about you marching and boycotting. What they do care about is bloodshed. What they do care about is, I know that if I attack him, they gonna jump on me. So you all only have smoke for each other. Not only do you only have smoke for each other, a lot of these brothers are smart enough to know exactly what they're doing. But family, the tide is changing. For all of you who witnessed that card last night and saw those ladies getting in the way they were, and saw that event was sold out by all of our people, and 71% of them were women. The tides are changing. And what you spineless brothers need to understand, because they're always present, what you need to understand is women are getting into boxing. And women are not going to get behind you all being spineless. See, it's a lot of you traitors of our people who would sell out your mother for a corner office. It's a lot of you brothers who would get in front of a camera and let a Mexican fighter hit you for views as a grown man. This ain't something coaches messing up. These are things that have happened and transpired in the last year. So go ahead. Keep talking about Victor Conte. Go ahead. Keep hating on young black fighters. But see, we got eyes too. So when you're in trouble, don't come to us talking about screaming racism. When Sean Zattel turns on you Negroes, don't come running to us screaming racism. Look how quick Sean Porter had to recant his statement. When Sean Zattel smiled over at him, as soon as he heard Victor Conte, smiled over at Sean and did like this. See, y'all don't think they don't love this shit? Y'all don't think they don't love this shit? Playing in your face. Playing in your goddamn face. Our women have no respect for brothers like y'all. And the thing about it, with Sean Porter and Tim Bradley, you brothers were warriors. You brothers were warriors in the ring. For you to come out, don't ever mention Ali's name. Don't none of you mention Ali's name. Do you know why Clarissa Shields can call herself the GWOAT? Do you know why she can call herself the greatest woman of all time? Because the man who was the greatest of all time, who called himself the greatest of all time, he stood up for something. A lot of you brothers will be scared to death to play the Black National Anthem before you come out, because you will be so worried about another fan base having beef with you, because you scared to death to go over to Cali. You scared to death to go to Vegas and be unapologetically yourself for your people the way they are for their people. Queen Sugar Free Mars said that man was wet seeing B. Norman choosing to take that weak ass angle. Oh yeah. Lil Wee Wee probably got hard. Pause. Just like a devil, got very excited. But the tide is changing. The tide is changing, family. Think about it. The excellence that I saw last night, and it was a peaceful event. The FOI was out there. Peaceful event. Why you brothers not supporting Clarissa the way she supports you? Let me say it again. Why you brothers, you fighters, who Clarissa Shields always shows up to, why the hell are y'all not there supporting our sister? Let me say this. God damn it. You brothers are either gonna stand up or you're gonna get stepped on. Let me say it again. You either gonna stand up or get stepped on. Because Matthias just showed you cowards. Cowards. See, some of you brothers think because you put on gloves and you can fight that you ain't a coward. That ain't what being brave is about. You having fear of something and still standing up is what makes you a warrior. You going in the ring knowing that you gonna beat this dude anyway don't make you no warrior. Clarissa Shields is a warrior. Matias wasn't over there smiling and hee-hee-ha-ha with T.O. And when T.O. kept going, he slapped the glasses off his face. That's the energy you brothers should have had. I love Bud Crawford as a fighter and as a warrior. But Bud, you hugging up to T.O. and taking a picture with him? No. And see, he still, as soon as T.O. said, I still want to spar though, you should have, hey, I'm sorry, family. I'm sorry. Some folks got to get smacked in their damn mouth. What a crash outs at. That's when we need to have them around. Yeah, that's when we need to have them around. Shakur, I swear, if you post one more tweet about one of these fighters that don't give a damn about you, why are you trying to be friends with everybody? Why are you trying to be friends with everybody, man? Look at this thing, y'all. They ain't tied this thing down right. Tank. All y'all. So now y'all all saluting everybody and all. Bruh. This is disgusting work. This is nasty work. Patrice said our sole role is protection as men. So if our women see us not doing that, then how you think we look to our women? When Tony Harrison was in there fighting, every round you hear the sisters bearing witness. That's it. That's it, Tony. That's it. Slip, move, stick. Matter of fact, Franchise Cruz is telling him when to pivot, and he hears her, and he actually starts pivoting when she says pivot and getting off. She's bearing witness. But I go back and I remember Shakur yelling out, "Let's go, Ryan. Let's go. Come on, Ryan." Brothers, you are no longer in the amateurs. This is no longer USA boxing. Everyone has chosen and picked their side and stood with their tribe and their nation. Whether they are looked at as racist or not, it is time for you to get down or lay down. You can't be on both sides. And I'm going to tell you what you brothers should be afraid of. When Clarissa Shields stands up and says that you brothers are spineless, it's a wrap for you. It's a wrap for you. Because what you dumbasses don't see. Let me not call you dumbasses. Let me give you brothers some grace. Like El Hajj Malik Shabazz would say, you sick-minded Negroes. If you don't wake up, the Mexican fan base is not going to follow you unless you are going against Devin Haney. Let me say it again. For you that don't hear, for you sick-minded Negroes that don't understand what I'm saying. Because, see, it takes intelligent men. And I'm not gonna lie. See, when I was an ignorant nigga, when I was a young, ignorant nigga, only prepared to battle my own, it was men like John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Minister Farrakhan, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, what's the brother that did the book on economics, black economics? Dr. Oh man. But brothers like this taught me that a lot of us are sick in the mind. Dr. Cress Wilson, a lot of us are sick in the mind. But see, now some of these brothers know exactly what they're doing. They know what they're doing. We call them out on it, and they keep doing it. So family, thank you, Dr. Claude Anderson. And if you all have never watched Dr. Claude Anderson's video on Black economics, he's standing in a church, and the video is about 2 hours. Go watch it. It will change your life. Family, the reason why non-black immigrants can come over here, create an account on Twitch, on TikTok, and call us racial slurs and get praise and build their things for them is because there used to be consequences. Last live I did, I talked to you all about the psychological term operant conditioning. Operant conditioning. What is operant conditioning, family? To make a long story short is, operant conditioning in spiritual terms is if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. If someone knows that they can keep doing anything without consequences, they're going to keep doing it, especially men. But let me show you how the conditioning can flip, how fast it can flip. Y'all see I'm at the pool. I'm at my pool like always, right? And, you know, we have Karens and Kens. So a Ken was headed down here to basically start some crap with some black women and children. He didn't see me over in this corner. So he comes in. I'm sitting like this. He don't see me until, so when he first steps in, he comes in and he asked them, hey guys, are you all enjoying yourselves? And I can already tell, because he's on his phone, I hear him on the phone talking crap about the children down here having a good time at the pool. When he turns the corner, I stand up and I say, hey man, you getting in the pool? He's like, oh no. I said, okay, well, how can I help you? My presence and just standing up and saying that to him totally dropped everything in his tracks that he planned on doing. He said, okay, well, you guys have a good time. Turned around, kept complaining on the phone, and went back to wherever the hell he was. Because our women and children are open targets. And when they know that they can approach them and nothing happens, they're going to keep doing it. But guess who's not going to approach Matias and play with him again? Teofimo Lopez. Guess who's not going to go hee-hee-ha-ha with Conor Ben again? Shakur Stevenson. You know why? Because they set the operant conditioning that we ain't playing no games. See? So now that we have more people in the chat, somebody please tell me, where are all the brothers who ran the social media to praise Usyk are completely silent this morning? Where are you? I tell you where you are. You're up under your master waiting to see if it's safe for you to do so. You're up under your master waiting to see if it is safe to do so. Usyk is undefeated. Usyk is not only undefeated, Usyk is a great champion. But that's not the goddamn point I'm making. The point that I'm making is brothers who ran to social media after one of their sisters who just made history last night are completely silent this morning. That's the point. Last slide, what did I say, family? Usyk is a great champion. Usyk is a great Olympian. He's a great representation of his nation and his people. I wish we could say the same for many of our fighters. And we had a fighter last night. And if these people love boxing so much, why are they so silent right now? Because, hey, y'all, Usyk did the same thing, and on Saturday night, early Sunday morning, all of these brothers were out praising Usyk, and they are silent this morning. That is the point. So if you don't have the same energy, you are a hypocrite. If a man don't stand on his word, he is a liar. That's the point. He is a goddamn liar. That's the point. I don't want to hear nothing about, well, Usyk's undefeated when Devin Haney was undefeated. Went to Australia twice. Brothers was still hating on him. Don't come in here talk to me about who's undefeated. That's not the point, family. And I'm not upset, I'm passionate. We got to have straight talk. Because they playing on us. And you might say, and we might say, well, you know, Usyk is a great fighter and all that. Great. But like Joe Budden said, we have to realize as a people and a black group in anything we support that we're having two different conversations. Two different conversations. Educate them about being on code. This ain't about, and let me say this. Because sometimes our brothers like to come at me and say, well, coach, everybody isn't as pro, or Sugar-Free Martin got somebody out here. Everybody's not pro-black as you. Family, this right here not even about being pro-black. This is about being a man. Type in the chat if you've seen the movie Apocalypto. Because if not enough people seen it, I'm not even going to bring this up. But if you've seen the movie Apocalypto, right scene. So everything is mixed now. No more black group. Let's get into it. Family. Put a yes in the chat if there is a black group in the sport of boxing, or put a no. Put a yes in the chat if there is a black group in boxing, or put a no. Because Carlos said everything is mixed now, no more black group. Okay. Family, watch this. Let's break it down. Let's break it down real quick. Is there a Mexican fan base in the sport of boxing? Is there a Mexican fan base in the sport of boxing? We can debunk this real quick. Is there a Mexican fan base in the sport of boxing? Do they not all fly the same flag? Do they not all scream Viva Mexico or La Raza and all of that? Okay. Do all of those Mexicans look the same? Are some of those Mexicans not mixed with conquistador blood? Okay, does Canelo not look like Conor McGregor's cousin? Does a Robert Garcia not look more Azteca? Would you say that many of these Mexicans are mixed with different blood, but they all are still under the same banner? All right, so I know all those answers are yes and sure do. Watch this. Do black American fighters have a certain fighting style? Yeah, they do. Okay. Do black Americans not have a certain culture? Yes, we do. And ignorance is not tied to that culture because all races have ignorance in it. When you heard the black national anthem played, man, F Floyd, we're going to stay right here on what you said. Forget Floyd, because we're going to teach right here. When you heard the black national anthem played last night, don't block Carlos. I want Carlos to learn something. Carlos, if you watched the fight last night, go look up the history of the black national anthem that was sung, that Clarissa Shields forced them to sing. Those black people that sold out that stadium, go look up the history of Detroit. Sheldon, I appreciate you. If anybody get disrespectful, get him out of here. But Carlos, I believe is Hispanic and either Hispanic or some type of black Latino based off that name. And I want this to be a teaching lesson because he really might not know. Because there are many immigrants that don't know that black Americans actually have our own culture. When you go to South Carolina, the Geechee people, that's black American culture. When you go to Louisiana and you experience Mardi Gras, that's black American culture. When you come down to Atlanta, experience the Auburn Fest, that's black American culture. When you see someone dunk the basketball in the NBA, that's black American culture. When you see some of your Hispanic fighters doing the Philly shell or the cross-arm guard, that's black American culture. Created by Eddie Futch, created by and mastered by the great Archie Moore, the old mongoose. That's black American culture. So no matter if you this color or you're my color or black as this shirt, there was a time in this country where they had the brown paper bag rule and the blood rule. And the blood rule said if any of these white folks knew that you had a drop of black blood, what they call black blood, you could be hung. So we were all considered black. The one drop rule. That's right, Queen Sugar Free Mars. When you see players in football dancing after a TD, that's black culture. When you see Michael Jackson break dancing and pop locking, and you see all of the Asians, Chinese, Koreans doing all of these amazing moves, and they're saying, look how amazing they dance. That's black American culture created in Bronx, New York. Go watch a movie called Crush Groove. See? So it don't matter so much about this. Black Americans, family, have their own culture. And Carlos, I hope that gives you a wider spectrum. And when you talk about Floyd not liking black women, man, we get on Floyd ass paws all the time. We don't like a lot of stuff Floyd does. And we hold him accountable. And I hold my own accountable because I always expect the devil to be a devil. But when we start doing this foolishness, because there are forces that want us to stay separated. And the sport of boxing is one of the only sports we have left where a man can stand up and be a man unapologetically and a woman can be a woman. Like our sister, our queen, Clarissa Shields. Crush, grooving, body moving. Sheldon LDBC, they don't know nothing about crush, grooving, body moving. They don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about the Fat Boys. They don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about that. So family, when you watch the Super Bowl, that's black American culture, baby. There would be no Super Bowl if it was not for a show called In Living Color. See, y'all done got me started. So don't you ever listen, family. Don't you ever, when you start talking to me, talk about what ain't black. And ain't nobody qualified to tell me what ain't black. The very soil that you are standing on is black American culture. World War I, World War II, the Revolutionary War, the Gullah Geechee Wars. None of them are won without black bodies dying. So family, when you talk, you might want to know what you're talking about. So to my Hispanic family, the Civil War as well, that's right. To my Hispanic family, the reason why you can fight white men in boxing is black American culture. Without Jack Johnson, You ain't fighting. Guess what? Without integration, Black American culture, there is no 1965 Immigration Act that our people fought for. The Kerner Commission, that's Black American culture, family. Let me see. That's Black American culture. Their lowrider culture, music is our culture too. Now let me say this, family. This is why it's so dangerous for us not to be on code. Imagine if every black fighter said, hey, because of Clarissa and what she did, we're gonna all start doing the Black National Anthem. We're gonna all start doing the Black National Anthem before we fight. You know what that would do to the world? The world will start paying attention and saying, you know what? What's that song about? And why do they call the Black National Anthem? They would look into the history of that. And then everybody will start saying, oh, wow. Black folks got their own shit for real. Yeah. So, and then they will start asking the question, well, Hispanic people that don't know, they would ask the question, well, why is there a Black National Anthem? And then there's the National Anthem. Why are they different? Well, what's the history behind the National Anthem? You see, this is how it starts spinning the wheels of our own culture when we're on code, for those that don't understand what being on code is about. So when you drag our sisters, when you drag our brothers, and you keep it going, and we allow it, and we allow the propaganda, we allow people into our house. Family, if you haven't seen the movie Apocalypto, you know, this is when they started calling Mel Gibson crazy. When Mel Gibson started making movies like Armistead and started showing the horrors of slavery in that movie. And if you want to watch a real effed up slave movie that shows you just how disgusting they were to our people, don't watch Roots. Go watch Uncle Tom's Cabin. Go watch Uncle Tom's Cabin, where they show you how they had our 5 and 6 year olds, like the movie Planet of the Apes, with the big leaves fanning people at their plantation parties. In that movie, it shows you how they had farms just for child SA, and they would cover their bodies in gold and silver. That's not a movie I would watch with my children when they're young. But when they may be in their teens, have them watch Uncle Tom's Cabin. It shows you the kind of devils. It shows you why our ancestors called them devils. Because only a devil could treat another human being like that. Now, you might ask, why is it so dangerous to allow people into our space and disrespect other fighters, even if they have a point? The reason why is because we are not unified enough. We're not unified enough. And Sean Porter, when you allow a Sean Zattel to sit next to you while you disrespect Floyd Mayweather, it emboldens them. It emboldens the Adam 22s, the Vlad TVs, the Aiden Rosses, the Neo, the boy that just went on Breakfast Club and asked an apology for his racist rant that he was confronted about. You have to understand, someone from another culture is not going to treat your house the way you treat it. They didn't grow up the same. So if you do not demand them to conduct themselves as a guest, we get the crap that we're dealing with. So I think I think that I have drilled that enough. And Carlos, I hope that they put on a light bulb in your mind, and you can go do some research, and the next time you are with your brothers and sisters in your culture, you can teach them. You can teach them something that they don't know, because they'll listen to you. Because they don't know. That's right, Patrice. It opens the floodgates to disrespect. Our culture, even our gangster culture, most of our gangster culture stemmed out of survival. It stemmed out of survival, not terrorizing everyone else. It was turned into that after other people had got involved. That's what you need to understand. Let me keep going. Number 52. Hey family. So check it out. The lotto, running numbers. Where'd that come from? Many of you go play the lotto every day. Unless your own people wouldn't have sold you out. So Carlos said that you would not be that if your people have not sold you out. So what I want to tell Carlos is this. Carlos, first of all, some of our people were here already, number one. Because to get this color, you can't use this. Okay? And if Carlos knows that, I'm sure. Let Carlos breathe, because we're gonna have a conversation. Because I think Carlos thinks that he's teaching me about my people. So what I want to tell Carlos is this. First of all, our people are not a monolith. We have traitors in our culture the same way Mexicans had conquistadors in their culture. The same way Mexicans, some of them, were traitors to their own people. And that is a fact. All of our people were not selling. Not only that, Carlos, if we want to get down to it, because what you just repeated, and I'm not sure yet, we're going to find out in a second. I'm not sure yet if you are a racist or not, but you repeated a racist narrative, because that is something they used to say to basically make the white guilt feel better. And Patrice, you're right. Some of you are sold out to conquistadors. That's correct. But I know Carlos is here, so you want my attention? Here you go. Carlos. That's right. Every culture had traitors, Carlos. But check this out. The difference between American slavery, during the transatlantic slave trade, and everywhere else is when it was banned, and when Haiti took over their land, the devils in this country created something called breeding farms, because international slave trade was outlawed internationally. So these devils in this country would have sons put a bag over their head and sleep with their mothers. So if you ever heard the word MFer, that's where it comes from. But what I do want you to also know, Carlos, is what they don't tell you is that every year, going all the way back to 1556, to the ending of slavery, whether internationally or nationally here in America, every year my people were fighting. Every year. Matter of fact, when the Confederacy tried to go into Mexico, there was a man by the name of John Horse, who was a black man who became a Mexican general and helped Mexicans make the Confederacy flee out of Mexico, and they had to go all the way down into South America. So those racist narratives, you have to be careful of how you repeat them. Because the way you said it, the way that is used against us a lot of times is used for them to feel good. And quite frankly, the enemy of my ancestors and your ancestors are the same people. So family, as long as people don't get disrespectful, you don't have to block them, because it might be a teaching moment. But you all know when to get their ass out of here. And unfortunately, we have to have these hard discussions when dealing with some Mexicans who think they're racist. You don't have the power to be racist. You are not assimilated into the white power structure. So all you can be is a confused bigot. And not talking to you, Carlos, but there are Mexicans who are bigots, who never have the smoke for the enemy that they need to have. They just have it for us. In Cali, we don't deal with that shit over here. You will catch your issue. That's pretty much the whole South. Real strong Second Amendment region over here. Queen Sugar Free Mars said, and the African king who fought for Mexican liberation, King Yanga, Mexico has a city named after him. Y'all don't know your own history. Woo. See, family, listen. You can't come into... Look, family, you can't come into this chat. This is Coach Hudson's chat, and if you don't know me, I ain't got nothing but a bunch of truth tellers around me. I got Queen Sugar Free Mars in here. I got Trill Will LWC in here. I got Steven X. I got the brother Drew Titan. We're gonna get you right. So if you come and you say something crazy or a little off, hey y'all, it's gonna turn into a teaching moment. I can guarantee you. But family, shout out to our queen, Clarissa Shields. I have a strange feeling Carlos is a white man cosplaying on the internet as a Mexican. Well, whether he is a Mexican brother or sister, whether he's a Mexican racist or a white man being a devil, he learned something today. All right. Now, I'm gonna be doing lives more often, Carlos, and maybe we can have intelligent back and forth like this and teach each other something. You know, but your statements that you said I already knew, but I hope I taught you something. And what Sugar Free Mars just said, I didn't know myself. So you always have the opportunity to learn something if you are humble enough to learn. But we got none but heavy hitters and truth tellers. And I know a lot of them are going to be live later today. Shout out to the Queen Sugar Free Mars. Shout out to the King Tony Harrison. He is back. Shout out to Clarissa Shields fighter, Worthington, who won her fight. And based off of that knowledge alone, and anyone who is confused, any of the traitors among us who I know are always watching, like the great Malcolm X said when he was Malcolm X, he said, the way I say peace to my family and comrades, Brother Malcolm would say, you know, assalamu alaikum, brothers, sisters, and enemies, because he knew that they were always around. That is my favorite person to hear speak, especially when he does a debate. And I'm going to tell you all, these debates, family, don't be afraid to speak the truth. The difference from debates back in the day and what's happening now is people are having disrespectful matches. A debate is supposed to be something where it teaches you something and where I stand, and then the people decide who won that debate. Okay? We all come from God and hope that sinks in with the negative comments. So I don't think I've said anything negative. Any of you who have been following me know that I am a God-fearing man that's not perfect. But God hates sin. If you're gonna talk about God, Carlos, whatever you come with, brother, I got you. God hates sin, and He hates racism. He hates the horrible things that's been done behind that hatred. So I'm within every right to call it out because that is a godly thing for me to do. What is not godly is those who would go to church on Sunday and then put on white sheets at night and terrorize unarmed people. But family, y'all know I get started, and that's for another time. Patrice said, Carlos, we ain't falling for the we are the same nonsense. You showed your colors. Damn, Carlos, they on you now, man. I'm sorry. I tried to. They on you. They on you, man. They say you are becoming a habitual line stepper now. And Patrice X and Sugar Free Mars about to get on you. You might just want to chill. Sugar Free Mars said exactly. These people don't debate. They don't have the intelligence to do so. They chastise and argue like people in a toxic relationship. That's why when I go on Champ's side and I go off on somebody, we don't talk again. They don't even acknowledge me because they know where I stand. I know where they stand. And 9 times out of 10, they don't want any more of that. So, family, I think the tides is changing and we need to get behind these sisters like Clarissa Shields. I want to see more events like the one we saw last night in Detroit. I'm just amazed about the unity that we saw. Patrice said, I guarantee that Xavier dude won't debate about the Robert Garcia evidence found. What Xavier dude? You talking about the guy from Chocolates? Okay, I don't know them, but you know, family, the great thing about it is anything that I say, people can go look up for themselves. Oh, yeah. Don't worry. Me and my brother gonna have that discussion again. Cause actually, Brother Drew actually put the video that day on it, and Xavier actually had left. Xavier had left the panel because Xavier had told me that basically Robert Garcia was not around until he helped Margarito after. I sent the video to Brother Drew and showed him not only them at Margarito house, I showed the video where Robert Garcia was wrapping his hands and they were joking about the incident when he was preparing him for, I believe, Pacquiao. You know, so that whole moral stance they was trying to take, we got that shit out of here quick. That's what the investigation needs to be. But family, y'all know these panels, they're not going to talk about that. They're not going to talk about that. And Patrice, to be real with you, people, it's hard to debate something with that kind of evidence. Like, what you going to say after that? You see what I'm saying? There go my brother Drew. There's not too much you can say after you prove and you show him, like, hey, brother. And you know, Xavier wasn't disrespectful, but, you know, Xavier was misinformed. Xavier said, hey, you know, no, that's not the case. And what did I say? Now, let me show you all how men are supposed to conduct themselves. When Xavier said to me, no, coach, you got it wrong. That's not how it happened. I said, you know what? I apologize if I'm wrong because I thought from memory that's what I saw. Now, in my mind, I was thinking, all right, maybe I'm slipping. Maybe I got it mixed up. So I said, thank you for correcting me, but I'm going to go take a look real quick. But if I'm wrong, I don't want to put a coat on somebody that don't fit. So while other people got on the panel, I went, and in about 5 minutes, it popped right up. I said, oh, I ain't even going to interrupt. I'm going to send it to my brother Drew. I sent it to Drew's DM. And I wasn't even saying anything. Drew said, hey, brother Xavier, this is what Coach Hudson was talking about. They let it play. Hey, if the glove don't fit, you got to quit. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. But if the glove fit, you got to defend this. So after that, you know, our brother Xavier said, well, damn. Never mind. Xavier said, "Damn, Xavier was that's man shit. You thought it was true? I showed you wasn't true. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Somebody corrected me earlier today about something. And I said, okay. When Stormy B Man was on, we were talking about any trilogies that were better than the first or the second. And Stormy B Man gave us some examples, and I think Steph Brown gave me the example of Fury versus Wilder 3 living up to its hype. You know, all of us were on our feet, regardless if we like the result or not, family. Coach Cochran checkmated him. Yeah, y'all got a good memory, man. Y'all got a good memory. Y'all got that elephant champ side memory. I be forgetting that stuff. But yeah, family. That's why you got to step on propaganda and smush it from the beginning. As soon as I hear a lie, I say, oh, nope, hold on. That's why, see, I can't be the only one when, like, if I'm on champ side, right? Me, Sugar Free Mars, Trill Will, GWOAT, we cannot be the only ones. Drew Titan, we can't be the only ones calling out really the coonery at this point. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Sugar Free Mars, no. That dude Keenan made me mad. So mad that day. Keenan made me so upset that day when he just kept going on dragging Devin after he was MIA after Brian Norman Jr. won his fight, and I had started realizing, he's always on the wrong side. So I called in, and Keena and the older brother Carl Brown, I went off. Me and them brothers ain't talked since. We ain't talked since, and probably never will, because when I'm in the chat, he don't say nothing to me, I don't say nothing to them. Because they know exactly, I told them what they were, what they're doing, and they keep doing it. So I have to stand on my square and keep telling the truth. And all of the truth tellers have to do that. This is the only way, y'all, we're going to get these roaches out the sport. Because right now, we look bad as men. 71% of women bought the tickets for Clarissa Shields' event. A sold out event. First time in boxing history. We're not looking good, y'all. All of them brothers Clarissa Shields shows up for, wasn't none of them there at her event. And great point, Stephen X. Stephen X said the same black folks that dislike Devin would hate Ali. Let me see what time it is, family. All right. I'm going to wrap this up in about 15 minutes. But I got to say this. Our brother Stephen X made a good point. Everybody loves to scream Ali. I'm going to tell y'all something, family, because I don't condone violence. But listen. The only reason why brothers are allowed to say some of the outrageous things they say is because social media is safe. But see, I came up in organizations where violence would happen for outrageous things being said. Whether it was the military, whether it was I worked in prison, you couldn't just keep saying crazy stuff and somebody don't do something to you. Now, I don't condone violence for your opinion, but we have to be louder than them because we look bad as people. Family, imagine if the Mexican community had a Muhammad Ali. Family, imagine if the Eastern European had a Muhammad Ali. They would never. You probably would get poked talking bad about their champion. They have a statue of Tyson Fury with his foot on Deontay Wilder's chest over in the UK. But our brothers who drag Devin now thinks that they would have been for Ali then. Ali who was with the nation. Ali who stood up even when he left the nation. He was still very pro-black. He was still a Muslim. And not only that, what a lot of people don't know is, even when Ali left the nation, the minister in our league was still tight. Carlos said Clarissa does deserve her flowers, but unfortunately women boxing doesn't hit like men boxing. Well, this is why I believe the tide is changing. Because for the first time in boxing history, a sold out event, 71% of the tickets was purchased by women. On top of that, family, women outnumber men 3-1. So what you all need to understand is, if women get more into boxing like what we saw last night, the tide is about to change. Has anyone ever been to a cheerleading competition or a dance competition for girls or majorettes? Something that is predominantly women. If you have, you know the purchasing power and the leverage that women have. Not only that, family, women are starting to out-earn men in the corporate sector, especially among our type of fan base. So don't sleep on women's boxing, because you got to remember, 20 years ago, none of this would have even existed. So, family, you all have to pay attention to what's happening. If they have more money to spend and are getting more educated and are getting behind a boxer like Clarissa Shields, this is what you gotta understand, family. They don't have to box at a bunch of different places. If just 15 women signed to Clarissa Shields and they put on events like that again and again and just stay in Detroit, Michigan, women's boxing is going up, y'all, and we can't stop it. And regardless of what the people are supporting, a champion like Clarissa Shields deserves her flowers no matter what, family. And that's right, Clarissa Shields owns her own promotional company. One of her fighters won last night. Everything I done told y'all, family, so far ain't got wrong yet. I told you what was gonna happen last year with Tank. I told you what was going to happen when Devin Haney was seemed no longer to be a threat, and they tried to say that Brian Norman Sr. was going to be the new Devin Haney. Family, you all have to see, we're having different conversations. Some of us love boxing, and some of these are haters and racist. And they want a black punching bag, and I'm not having it. They're starting to attack our kids and the amateurs as well. And we're going to start paying closer attention to that. That's why more of our fighters are not trying to. Our boys from Morehouse in Georgia, from Atlanta, Georgia, we got 2 national champions now. None of them are trying to go to the Olympics. They're going to do nationals, do some IFLs, and then they're going to try to go pro from there. We don't have to deal with this shit anymore, y'all. We don't, family. They want to keep disrespecting us. All we got to do is redraw our talent. That's all we got to do. Be unified and withdraw our talent and start something else. We don't have to put up with this crap. We don't have to let the country benefit from our talent if they keep treating us like this. And family, the only reason why the elites are letting Devin be treated this way is because he's not signed to a plantation. And him and his father are getting filthy rich. But family, it's a beautiful Sunday. You know, have your conversation with God, meditate, pray, do your thing, all right? I'm going to get on out of here. It's a beautiful day. Last night got me feeling good. I thank every single person that came and chilled with Coach. I already know Stormy B-Man going live today. Queen Sugar Free Mars going live today probably. Make sure you tune into those channels. Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And like always, y'all, it's smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan and his punk ass. Peace.